So guys, you remember in April, Jacob and I were out here and we're doing videos on these beans. This is the beans we planted in mid-March that ended up getting, I don't know, 2 foot, 3 foot of water over the top of them for 4 or 5 days. Where we're standing now is where we thought we had the really bad problems. The field above it, ditches couldn't hold the water. All the water came across, washed across the rows. We thought, you know, pretty much one row completely out.
Yes.
You know, we were trying to do the math. Is it worth planting? Is it worth replanting? Because we were going to be 2 to 3 weeks later on either half the field or destroy the whole field and start back over, which always causes yield problems from there. We decided to keep them. Really wasn't sure what was going to happen. I broke that right at the ground, but this plant was actually sitting in there like that. So this is one of the plants that we thought probably would never even make it.
Right.
You know, it'd break its neck or whatever. It's made it to time for desiccation. It's got a few beans on it. It's not the best looking plant in the world. You know, if all the plants looked like that, it would probably be a 50, 60 bushel plant.
Right.
These were the plants we didn't even think we were going to have, and we're going to end up with about 65 to 70,000 on one side of the row. Tell them what you got, Jacob.
These were what we'll call the normal plants, where they were sitting on each side of the twin row, you know, the 9 or 6.5 inches apart like they normally sit off your planter, sitting just like that. And they've got a decent load on them. You know, they're ready to desiccate as well. These were the plants that were sitting on what we'll call the high side of the row that didn't get washed off or washed down like those plants did.
Similar to a single row plant.
Similar to a single row plant. These were actually sitting a little bit closer together, but whenever you start looking at the number of nodes are basically the same, might be 1 node difference, but when you start looking at the number of pods per raceme and your number of laterals, these particular ones, you know, compensated significantly for what was lacking on the side of the twin row that we lost.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the root system, you know, there's a lot more dense root system, a lot better taproot and all that on both these plants that were sitting up here on the high side. Not to necessarily say the twin row is better, but what we're looking at more than anything is we got some compensation out of these beans because they had a little bit more elbow room.
Room to grow.
Right.
A little bit less population, which what people see all the time.
Exactly.